Kalalau Malak Yahweh, Wa Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachak, Wadash, and double honors to the elders of GMS Ruel, blessings unto those men, and blessings and salutations to the Akim out there in truth, pushing this word in all sincerity and in honesty. With that being said, Shalom Israel Barakatah. Today's lesson, there will be no safe places in Babylon. And here we have an article from the Express.com website that says map shows where U.S. nuclear fallout shelters are located if cities are attacked. It goes on to say, amid fears of a wider war in the Middle East after U.S. strikes on Iranian nuclear sites, and the Iranians are the Persians. And when it comes to the scriptures, they're known as the Carmanians. And the scriptures have said that they shall come out in great power. But it goes on to say, amid fears of a wider war in the Middle East after U.S. strikes on Iranian nuclear sites, a map has revealed the locations of nuclear fallout shelters. This article of 2025 comes to you by Jeremiah Hassel. And as you can see here, the most heavy concentration of these fallout shelters are found mostly on the West Coast. This map also proves that the vast majority of these so-called Americans know that a third world war is inevitable. They will not build any bunker for no apparent reason. They know what's coming. They know what the scriptures are saying, especially the elites of society. Now, here's an estimate on how many fallout shelters were built in the U.S. And it says by 1960, nearly 70% of American adults believed that nuclear war was imminent. By 1965, an estimated 200,000 shelters were built, but that's just an estimate. It's hard to know exactly because people didn't talk. That's right. It's hard to know the exact amount on how many fallout shelters are in the U.S., but the numbers keep climbing due to the recent booming sales of Atlas in 2025. And that's a major company when it comes to making bunkers, Atlas. But during the course of World War III, the banking elites around the world shall hide themselves in their fallout shelters, their strongholds, bunkers, and other underground facilities, fulfilling the prophecies of Amos 9, 2, and 3. The elites of the U.S., on the other hand, they shall hide themselves in the bunkers of the other countries in order to fulfill the scripture of Psalms 149, 8, and 9. They shall not hide themselves in modern-day Babylon the Great because they know of her fiery judgment. It shall be pelted with 200 million arrows, according to the scripture of Revelation 9:16, and shall be left desolate without inhabitants, pursuant to the scripture of Jeremiah 51 and 29. And the reason for today's lesson is due to this online post from Facebook that I came across that says, safest places in U.S. in a nuke attack. And when it comes to modern day Babylon the Great, there's no safe place. It shall burn for a long time, according to scripture. And when it comes to the word of the Lord, Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai, it does not go back unto him void. His scriptures get fulfilled. And this is all a matter of time. Everything has a time and a season. And so does modern day Babylon the Great. Modern day Babylon shall be left desolate from coast to coast. And that is the purpose of the Lord, according to Jeremiah 51 and 29. And the Russians, which are the Medes, upon the scriptures, will be the one will be one of those major players to do it. Along with the 10 horns. That's the reason why the elite shall turn to the strongholds of the other nations. With that being said, let's go over to Zechariah 9 and 12. Here we have the scripture of Zechariah 9 and 12. Turn you to the stronghold, ye prisoners of hope. Even today do I declare that I will render double unto thee. Right, and this is in reference to the elites of Esau, Edom, in these stronghold places of refuge. And they have to make it to fulfill biblical prophecy. Zechariah 9 and 13. When I have bent Judah for me, filled the bow with Ephraim, and raised up thy sons, O Zion, against thy sons, O Greece, and made thee as the sword of a mighty man, meaning all the tribes coming together. Zion means monument and is in reference to the nation of Israel, which consists of so-called Negroes, Latinos, Tainos, and Native American Indians. You are the 12 tribes of Israel. The elect chosen of the Lord in spiritual power shall be the ones to gather all the kings and nobles around the world, to put them in chains and fetters of iron. And that is to serve, in order for them to serve the nation of Israel. True Israel served them in slavery. Now they must do the same for us. But when it comes to those men of the Lord, they shall gather a vast workforce to serve the nation of Israel. Isaiah 16 verse 10 says, and the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee, for in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee. So a great workforce will have to be gathered from all around the world in order to build the walls of the kingdom. A great workforce will have to be gathered in order to serve the sands of the seas, which is true Israel. And their first job is to bury the bodies. The scripture of Psalms 149 and 8 has said, to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron. So the banking elite kings of Edom will make it through the war in their deep underground bunkers and other places of refuge for the sole purpose of fulfilling prophecy, to later be brought forth to serve judgment in chains and in fetters of iron. Israel served slavery under them, and now according to the perfect balance of the Lord, they must serve true Israel in the one of all things. They must serve true Israel in the perfect balance of the Lord, Yahweh Wayoshai. The Lord deals with a perfect balance according to Proverbs 11 and 1. Psalms 149 and verse 9, to execute upon them the judgment written, this honor have all his saints. Praise ye the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahushai. Saints are the Israelites. Judgment shall come upon them for all the wicked crimes committed on the earth, upon the earth, and on the children of Israel. Basically for all crimes committed on a global scale. Remember that Edom never keeps us at home. And I can see why the Lord is going to utilize his men in power, in spiritual power, to take them out of those deep underground facilities. Because now they are even building deeper and deeper. That's why the scriptures say, though they dig into hell. Amos 9 and 2. Though they dig into hell, then shall my hand take them. Though they climb up to heaven, thence will I bring them down, though they dig into hell, meaning into their deep underground military bases, their dumbs, and other underground facilities or fallout shelters. And once the smoke clears, then shall the Lord, Yahweh Wayoshai, utilize the chosen elect of the Lord to take them captives in order for them to serve the nation of Israel as servants and as handmaids. Though they climb up to heaven, thence will I bring them down, meaning that they shall even be brought down from among their space station. So the Lord has everything covered. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Amos 9:3. And though they hide themselves in the top of Carmel, I will search and take them out thence. And though they be hid from my sight in the bottom of the sea, thence will I command the serpent, and he shall bite them. Even the Leviathan shall come out and do his thing. Even the enormous Leviathan, that colossal Leviathan that was made to inhabit the moist, shall bite them at the bottom of the sea. So in other words, there will be no place to run and no place to hide from the eyes and judgment of the Lord Yahweh Wayoshai. They shall be taken out from their places of refuge to serve the nation of Israel. But when it comes to today's lesson, there will be no safe places in Babylon. But with that being said, Kalalau Malak Yahweh, Wa Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachak, Wadash, and double honors to the elders of GMS Ruel, blessings unto those men, and blessings and salutations to the Akim out there in truth, pushing his word in all sincerity and in honesty. With that being said, Shalom Israel, Barakatah.